Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Movie Deputy Reviews, where we have a special review for you today. If you are just joining us for the first time, be prepared for an adventure, and if you are a longtime listener, you know this is going to be an adventure. Today is a special day because the new Mandalorian and Grogu movie just came out. But why is that special? Well, it's special, and I kind of waited until today. I was going to do these movies ahead of time, but I'm thinking, okay, May 25th, 1977, May 25th, 2006, 49 years to the day that Star Wars A New Hope came out. It debuted in theaters 49 years ago today. The Star Wars saga that a lot of people thought was going to be an absolute flop, but the faithful fans knew otherwise. This movie changed everything for the sci-fi genre completely in every way imaginable. And though there is some violence involved, I am giving Star Wars an unequivocal innocent rating. This one is truly safe for all ages. If you have never seen it, please check it out. If you are a longtime fan, you know what I'm talking about. I even went so far as to dig up a trailer that I found that I think is one of the original trailers ahead of like when this release was. But think about it, 49 years ago today, people stood in lines blocks long to get into this because it was brand new. Nobody had any idea what this was going to be about. They knew some of the unusual things that they saw in the trailers, but they didn't have anything to really go off of. It's like, what was this movie? What was the hype? It's like we see these spaceships and we see these aliens and we see all of these special things. And why does this matter so much? Well, this movie came out just before my third birthday. I honestly did not see it at all back then. It's kind of interesting. The first Star Wars was actually the first drive-in movie my husband went to with his father many, many years ago. This is back when he was just in the single digits as well. But the original Star Wars was the very first one he ever saw in a drive-through. Now, my first drive-through movie was a completely different genre movie. It was also Disney back then. Star Wars wasn't Disney, but my very first drive-through movie was The Fox and the Hound. Yeah, that kind of dates me a little bit there too. But when I saw that this date was coming up and I saw that it was this big anniversary, I'm like, okay, this has got to be today's show. And so I didn't want to record this last night like I do a lot of my other shows. Like I'll record it like super late, like around midnight the night before it goes live. I wanted to wait and do this one. And so yes, this is an evening episode, but I figured considering the weight of this movie and what this movie carries with it and just what this movie started for everything. I mean, think of how many movies are in this franchise. This is back before Star Wars went woke. This was back when Star Wars was just Star Wars, when it was entertaining and it was all of this different stuff going on. And it didn't necessarily have to make sense because it was pieces of a story that were building on each other. Now, Mandela effect time. Gonna question you. Gotta question you on this one. C-3PO, what color were his legs? No, this is not a trick question. I'm serious. There are some people that swear that he had 2 gold legs. Other people that swear he had 1 gold, 1 silver. Which camp are you in? I might put that question out on our YouTube channel just as like a poll thing so people can participate on that. But that has been a question that has had 2 sides very divided on something like that. So which side are you on? I'm going to scratch your brain on that one. But before we get too far into this, I want to share with you this trailer. This was a lot of fun and just a lot different than trailers you see nowadays. But you got to think back. This trailer came out in like early 1977, maybe late 1976. So this trailer came out a long time ago. So a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Here we go.
Somewhere in space, this may all be happening right now. 20th Century Fox and George Lucas, the man who brought you American Graffiti, now bring you an adventure unlike anything on your planet. Star Wars.
Here they come.
The story of a boy, a girl, and a universe. epic, sprawling space saga of rebellion and romance. It's a spectacle, light years ahead of its time.
I am C-3PO, human cyborg relations, and this is my counterpart, R2-D2. Hello.
It's an epic of heroes.
Good luck.
And villains. And aliens from 1,000 worlds. Star Wars, 1 billion years in the making, and it's coming to your galaxy this summer.
Wow. And that one actually said copyright 1976. So that trailer came out 50 years ago. Yeah. That kind of really puts it in perspective. We're in 2026 now. Now, looking back on Star Wars: A New Hope with the eyes of those of us that know the rest of the story, it's interesting to see that they were kind of selling it as this action, romance, drama with all of these aliens, and that somewhere out in space, this could all be happening right now. So it creates that intrigue, and it creates that just the curiosity of it. Now, think how far we've come with the alien movies and anything having to do with outer space or anything having to do with sci-fi. Do you really think much of that, if any of that, would have happened to this level without Star Wars? I don't. This laid the groundwork. This was like the first paved road. I mean, where it smooths it out so everybody else can follow along and follow sync. Like I said, that's really what Star Wars did. Now, you're probably curious if I had a previous review on this. Well, yes, I had written the review on this many years ago, not like that far back, but since I had started Deputy, but in the earlier years of Deputy, I had reviewed all of the Star Wars movies. And I'll be honest, when I reviewed them, I was very, very focused on keeping Movie Deputy neutral. I didn't want to come out as a conservative. I didn't want to come out as this because I wasn't necessarily worried I was going to offend part of my base, but I kind of was. And I really thought it was important to stay neutral. So the scores that were originally on MovieDeputy.com, some of them are just staying the exact same because there wasn't a lot of the newer crap that gummed it all up. But other ones you'll notice as these reviews go by, if you're familiar with the scores that were previously on MovieDeputy.com, you'll see some evolution in those scores a little bit. And I will be explaining that when we get into those movies as well. But with Star Wars: A New Hope, I'm actually going to break a little bit before I tell you the original review. And I'm going to tell you, I gave the original Star Wars a 6.25 out of 10 on the Deputy scale. And I am still staying with that score. Now, I get a lot of flack going, this one has a 97% score, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what this has on IMDb. I didn't check it. But I get a lot of that. But the thing is, I don't follow a typical rating scale. I follow the Movie Deputy rating scale, which is something that I created. And you can find it at the end of the video. So after you're clear, we're done with the video, there will be a screenshot there that you can pause it. I think it's about 3 seconds long, but that explains the Movie Deputy rating scale. You can also find it on the About Me page of MovieDeputy.com if you're curious. But that is the scale that I use to rate movies. So it doesn't follow along with the typical audience scores or other critics scores because I rate the movies based on a scale that I created, and it's a scale that's pretty easy to follow. Even over on our Movie Deputy podcast channel, I have an entire show that's dedicated to explaining what the score is. So I invite you to come on over and check that out as well. But like I said, I'm giving Star Wars: A New Hope a 6.25 out of 10 on the Deputy scale. Now, do you think I was too harsh? Probably. Think I wasn't harsh enough? There's probably those of you out there too. But I want to share with you the original review that I'd had on MovieDeputy.com. So I just got to scroll here a little bit. go through all my notes. Even back then, I took the notes on my phone. The time has come. The only question is, are those that are needed ready to fight? A young man is about to find out the hard way. Raised by his aunt and uncle, he has grown up knowing many things, but he yearns for more. All of his friends have already joined the academy. Now it's his turn. Little does he know the academy is not what he's destined for. He's about to learn exactly what it is he's destined for from an old friend of the family. This old friend begins to teach him what his true calling is, something called the Force. It's about to change his life forever. Combine that with some new friends and you get the adventure of a lifetime. This adventure will push him to his limits and then some. Along the way, he'll encounter both sides of this epic battle. His decisions will help to shape a new future for all involved. And I have a feeling that this is only the beginning. This is an epic tale of good versus evil. Which will prevail? There are many questions left unanswered. Will we learn what they are? Only time will tell. The special effects that are displayed are unlike any other. The story, a new idea that has the potential to open up a virtual Pandora's box. There are some mistakes that are easily caught by an avid watcher, but the story is enough to distract you from them. Young and old will be drawn to this, each for different reasons. Either way, this is bound to become a classic as it sets an entirely new standard. I really think I captured that even back then. Just not giving too much away. You know me, no spoilers ever. But just enough to kind of create that intrigue. And if you are not a Star Wars fan already and you wanted to check this out, I mean, this has the romance, this has the drama, this has the epic. And the reason I'm talking about the special effects in this movie, it's because back then we didn't have CGI. This was all like hand drawn, hand done. There weren't all these computers that did the stuff for us. This was back in the hand drawn animation style. And I'm not talking like the cartoon or the animation stuff there. I'm talking just every special effect you see, every explosion was done. I mean, it had to all be manual. Those, like I said, none of these computers and stuff that did this for us. And so like I said, if you haven't watched this in a long time, go back and rewatch this and think about that as you're watching this. It will literally put like an entirely new set of eyes on your eyes, and you're realizing that they did this without computers. There were computers back then, but they weren't anywhere close to what we have today. And just the fact that they managed to carry this through this, but you and I both know how the relationship with Luke and Leia, how that ended up evolving from romance into what we all know. But I'm not going to give that away. You're going to have to follow along with us through the rest of these stories and just catch up that way with us. I hope that you are having fun with these adventures as much as I am. As you know, we're going to have a lot of Star Wars movies to cover here. But I hope that you are enjoying this as much as I am. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to click that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell for the latest and the greatest Movie Deputy content. And as always, I'll be back soon with another one. Bye.